City, a town square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Thursday edition of Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See how you heard last night right here on this radio station. The Phillies have advanced to the NLDS to take on the Atlanta Braves. We'll get into all the details on the Phillies in the next round, plus the latest news on the Eagles, some interesting developments on the Birds as we get closer to Sunday's action. Of course, we got a whole weekend covered here on 97.3 ESPN. Phillies Braves game 1 Saturday evening. Phillies Rams Sunday afternoon. You can hear both games right here on 97.3 ESPN. Before we get to anything Birds, though, we got to talk about the Phillies. And I already see text messages coming in at 609-403-0973 and DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. By the way, really quick, they got to stop updating Twitter. Just as a side note, whoever is in charge of like the Twitter like updates and advancement, you're completely throwing me off my game of ability to keep up with things right now because the new formatics of the X platform feed is completely throwing me off. But that's a conversation for another day. Last night with the Phillies, I thought was a very unique and fun game because last night you really got to see how this team has matured into a team that you can rely on. You know, one of the problems with the Phillies at points last season and then as well this season has been the reality that the Phillies are just, they have not been a team that you can count on to show up every game. You saw it in the World Series last year. You saw it in the regular season last year and this year. And now heading into the playoffs, you will look at the team and says, this team has been so Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You just were not sure what to expect. You had no certainty about what you should or shouldn't anticipate with this team. These last two games probably got to give you the most hope that you have had about the Phillies in a long time. You walk out of this series with the Marlins believing that they actually have a chance against the Braves. And while I don't agree with someone like Mike Gill who says that, well, I saw them do it last year, that means they can do it this year. I can't go that far because, you know, as sports fans, we pick and choose when we want to actually use resumes or not. But what I do know is the way the Phillies won was incredibly impressive. The turning point of the game for me last night was after JT Realmuto hit that home run and the Phillies lead 3-0. The Marlins had a chance to get back into the game. 2 runners on, 1 out, 5th inning. They had a chance. They had men on base. They only had 1 out. And the 5th inning, too, you would think, okay, maybe they're getting to Aaron Nola. Maybe Nola, he's running out of steam a little bit here. Instead, Phillies got a double play. And they got out of the inning altogether. It was an amazing moment last night for a Phillies team that, if we're all to be honest, we didn't have a ton of expectations for going into this series. We believed they would win, but we didn't think they would win decisively like they have. I think that is the real takeaway for me. I know a lot of people, they want to point to, just to use an example, they want to point to, oh, well, let me backtrack there for a second. I love the fact that everyone is so bought into the Phillies right now. I love the energy in the building of the stadium, but I guarantee you that those 40 plus thousand people who were screaming their heads off last night, who didn't sit down for the entire game, they only make up a certain percentage of the fan base. There were still a lot of people who were Phillies fans and baseball fans who had uncertainty. They were not sure about this team. They had doubts, they had worries, they had concerns. And now we're moving on to the Brave series and we're asking the question, do the Phillies have enough star power to match up with the Braves? I think the better question shouldn't be, do the Phillies have enough star power? I think the better question should be, do the Braves have enough pitching? People like me can criticize Aaron Nola all I want. And many times I have been more than justified. But as I told you guys yesterday, and I'll repeat a version of it today, I never expected both Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola to perform as well as they did against the Marlins. Now, they are the Marlins. The Marlins will have the same lineup as the Braves. When Josh Bell, Luis Arias, and Jake Berger are some of your best hitters, you're probably not a great baseball team. You might be a playoff team, but you're not a great baseball team. So there's no way that Wheeler and Nola are just going to completely shut down the Braves lineup. It's the odds of it happening are not there. But it doesn't mean that we can't look ahead and have some good feeling to say, hey, on the biggest stage and the biggest moments, Nola and Wheeler got out of some jams. And if they did it against the Marlins, they should be able to do it against the Braves. To me, the biggest negative for the Braves is they've been sitting around and practicing. They have not been actually playing baseball. And you saw last postseason how the teams that got the bye, they struggled. They were not 100% coming out of the gate. So, do the Phillies find a way to split two in Atlanta? To me, that is the key for everything moving forward, because we can break down stats, we can break down numbers, we can theorize 100 ways from Sunday. But the reality is that if you can at least split the series, you come home and you have a chance to take control. Remember, this is a best of 5, not a 7-game series. You have to win at least one of the games in Atlanta if you are serious about winning this series. And we know it will probably not be Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola in Atlanta for game 1. Game 1 is going to be probably, oh man, I mean, is it Ranger Suarez? Is it Taijuan Walker? Is it Christopher Sanchez? We're going to find out. So winning game 1 is definitely going to be a tall order. Game 2 is probably going to be Zach Wheeler. Game 3, when they come back home, is probably going to be Aaron Nola. So with that set up in mind, the question I have for you guys at 609-403-0973, how do you feel about the Phillies after beating the Marlins 2 straight games? Because I think my biggest takeaway is that I think the Phillies are in a better place today than they were this time last week. This time last week, we had 100 questions about the rotation, the bullpen, And now, coming out of those 2 wins against the Marlins, you don't have those same worries. You have questions maybe still, but you don't have the same level of worry. And as I said, I genuinely think that when it comes down and when push comes to shove, the Phillies are a team that is benefiting from playing while the Braves are not benefiting from playing. Text board is open 609-403-0973. Jeff in Ocean City starts us off and says, Josh, I feel the Braves have the better lineup, but the Phillies have the better team. Will the Phillies win this series? That's from Jeff in Ocean City. Jeff, the Braves, you're right. They definitely have the better lineup. Anyone who has been watching baseball at all this year knows that the Braves are just the better baseball team. You don't win 104 games by accident. You don't have 4 guys with 100 RBIs by accident and a 5th guy with 97. It's not an accident that you have not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 players who have all hit at least 30 homers this year. These are not accidents. So, to Jeff at Ocean City's point, they have a great lineup. And you could argue that they are the best lineup in all of baseball. But Jeff at Ocean City said the Phillies are the better team. Do they now? They very well might. Because it's easy for us to sit here and point to regular season stats. Anyone who watches baseball knows what to look for when it comes to stats and figures. There's more to it than that. The reason why Jeff in Ocean City can sit there and text in at 609-403-0973 and say the Phillies are the better team is because the Atlanta Braves have a pitching staff that is, well, damaged. Charlie Morton and Max Fried have both missed time this year due to injuries. Their bullpen in Atlanta is not as dominant as it has been in the past. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, frog in my throat there. Aside from Iglesias, there's really not a great pitcher coming out of the Braves bullpen. Yates has been solid, but not great this year. Minter, he's still solid, but also not great. Tonkin has an over 4 ERA. And Jimenez has had a good year, but are you really worried about any of those guys coming out of the bullpen? So the starting staff is basically 2 pitchers, Strider and Elder, at this point, due to injuries. Unless you're going to flip the script and say that Max Fried coming back, you have a lot of faith in that guy. I certainly don't know what to expect from Max Fried. So you could argue the Phillies have the deeper bullpen. The Phillies have just as good of a starting staff overall. Will they win the series? Well, we're going to find out. Dan and EHC chimes in at 609-403-0973. He says, I can't get enough of this dancing on my own, Josh. If the Phillies finish this season with a ring, there is no other comparison in Philadelphia sports except for the Eagles championship, I guess. Well, not you guess, Dan. That's a silly thing to say. It is comparable to that. The problem with this championship run is that it is magical and we have all the feels in the moment. But we had these same feels during the Eagles run. We had these same similar feels last year when the Phillies made a run. We had the same feels in 2008 when the Phillies won a championship. We had the same feels when the Phillies in 93 made a run to the championship. Realistically, the only times that in my memory, a Philadelphia sports team made a championship run and you didn't have these types of feels going through you, I would say the 2004 Eagles, because that team was a team that you were waiting until the championship game. You knew that they had been to the NFC Championship game 3 straight years and they had lost. So there's a part of you that said, I just want to get to the championship game. I need to get there. I need to get there. I need to. So you didn't have this like emotional ride you were going on. And then the Flyers, when they went to the Stanley Cup and lost, that championship run was more of a shock and awe. You were just you were losing your mind that it was even possible that the Flyers were making a run. Because if you're a Philly sports fan, Flyers hockey is like the car in if you're a car collector, right? It's like the car in your garage that you want to love, but it costs you so much money to fix up. And when it does run without problems and when it does work, you don't know whether you should be excited and happy or whether you should be frightened that you're getting too excited and happy about the car working. Because the Flyers have only been on 3 championship runs since the 90s. So you weren't getting those kind of feels for the Flyers at all that you're getting right now. And then, see here. Flyers, Eagles. Yeah, those are the runs that you didn't get the extra feels over. But I think overall, you typically get the emotional roller coaster for most of Philadelphia sports runs. All right, I got more messages to get to coming up. 609-403-0973. I see George in Summers Point. We'll get to your message and others coming up on the other side. Josh Hennick hanging out with you here on a Thursday. I will still get to also the Eagles injury report a little bit later in the hour. Right now, we're talking Phillies baseball. Phillies are in the postseason for the 2nd straight year. And frankly, it has not been often where the Philadelphia Phillies have gone to this postseason in back-to-back years. It was a spoiled situation when the Phillies were in the postseason from 2007 to 2011. Before that, 93 was one and done in the 90s. When the Phillies went to the World Series in 80 and 83, they didn't go to the postseason every one of those years between 80 and 83. And for the Phillies, this is a rarity. They are among the best teams in baseball in October, chasing a championship. Don't forget, Phillies baseball this Saturday, right here on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle.
Catch Phillies playoff baseball on 97.3 ESPN. Can the Phillies make a return trip back to the World Series this season? Listen to find out.
Bryson Stott laces a line drive, center field, base hit. That scores Real Muto from third.
It's Phillies Braves. Game 1 this Saturday. Coverage begins at 5:30. The road to the World Series starts here on 97.3 ESPN. Your home for Phillies playoff baseball and the 2023 World Series.
Next question. This place is known for its extraordinary financial services since 1902. Contestant 3?
Motion First Bank?
Oh, nice try. Sorry, everyone. The answer we were looking for is Ocean First Bank. Ocean First. But the good news is everyone goes home a winner with convenient access to deposit services, mortgage loans, business financing solutions, and digital banking options for business and personal accounts. Through local branches and online banking, your needs always come first at Ocean First Bank.
Now get 5.25% APY when you open a 6-month CD with at least $10,000 of new money to Ocean First. Learn more. Open yours with a local branch or at oceanfirst.com. Restrictions apply.
Equal housing lender, equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more straight talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
It's the time of year for killer deals. You've had your eye on some hot new wheels. We want to pay off your loan or lease and tell your old car to rust in peace.
Bring any trade to Matt Black Kia, because if you're currently stuck in a loan or lease, Matt Black Kia wants to get you roll leased, and it's the only place you can drive with peace of mind with Matt Black Kia's exclusive 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Plus, you can drive with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days on every new Kia in stock. We want to finance your future, not your past. Even get up to $8,000 off MSRP on every 2023 EV6 GT in stock, or a new Matt Black Kia, 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
With approved credit, not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can't be combined. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes through CAP1 to Tier 1 customers. Expires 11/5/23. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and now on Route 37 in Toms River.
This is an urgent warning. America is heading for another major financial disaster at an alarming rate. We could see stock prices fall as much as 50%, but this time the crash could be more violent and come faster than you ever imagined. We are Advantage Gold, America's most trusted precious metals company, and we are here to sound the alarm that winter is coming for investors. And now is the time to take actions that may help protect and secure your portfolio with physical precious metals. Want to help protect your hard-earned money before it's too late? Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 and request our free gold and silver survival kit today. Mention that you heard us on the radio and learn how you could get up to $1,000 in free silver coins. The number is 800-900-8000. Call now to get your free survival kit and see if you qualify for $1,000 in free silver today.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Check with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
When you open the BetParks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moments. It's the energy of being all in, the passion of a perfect parlay, and the pure joy of a jackpot. It's another opportunity to win big every day of the week. Sign up for BetParks and get a welcome offer today. You play for fun, you love to win. You bet. BetParks.
Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio, or Maryland. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's number 59, Seth joining. Birds football, best time of the year. Join me right now and open the BetParks Sportsbook app, and you're in the zone. BetParks is the only casino and sportsbook app that I use and recommend. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moment. The confidence of underdogs covering, the tension before the clutch turnover, and the pride of a parlay paying off. It's another chance to win big with all-day action. New customers make your first winning $10 bet and get $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun, you love to win, you bet. BetParks.
Must be 21 in New Jersey, Ohio, Maryland. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
A lot of schools talk about training the cybersecurity workforce of the future, but do they really deliver? My Computer Career has been supplying the IT workforce with thousands of skilled, certified pros for 15 years. Train with the experts in support, networking, or cybersecurity and start your career in months, not years. Upskill even faster. On campus or live online. Qualified students may get financial aid, including the GI Bill. My Computer Career. Accredited, acclaimed, effective. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Are you tired of having the same boring place to have your company or private party for the holiday season? Bring back the fun to your holiday bash by hosting it at Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall. Enjoy the Beer Hall's 40 taps and an incredible cocktail menu in its spacious, awesomely decorated interior, as well as a festively decorated outdoor yard featuring a heated bar, fire pits, and giant holiday tree made out of beer kegs. Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall's menu can be custom made, whether it's casual sliders and wings to gourmet surf and turf. So book your holiday event today by going to TennesseeAvenueBeerHall.com.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh.
6:26 on Thursday. Josh, I think hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN tonight. Thursday night football. Washington Commanders take on the Chicago Bears. That's the action going on tonight on 97.3 ESPN. Phillies are back on Saturday night. Coverage begins at 5:30 on Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Eagles back in action on Sunday. Melrose Mike Quick on the call this Sunday versus the Rams right here on 97.3 ESPN. Kickoff for Eagles and Rams is around 4:20. Eagles travel out to Los Angeles. I'll get back to the text in just a moment at 609-403-0973. That's text for your DMs in the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank Seattle. I did mention the Eagles. There are 3 players who did not practice today. It's fair to say that 2 of them are looking very likely to not play this week. That being Fletcher Cox and Cam Jurgens. Jurgens is listed as a foot. It looks like Jurgens is going to miss at least a couple weeks with his injury. So it'll be Sua Opeta in there at right guard, it looks like, for the Eagles. Fletcher Cox, we talked about yesterday on GameNight and epidural for his back. And as I said yesterday, the average person, they basically need to rest for a day after an epidural, and then they're back in business. Go back to their normal lifestyle. But being a pro athlete is not a normal lifestyle. The amount of training and exercise and working out that you get by being a professional athlete to be at that level is extremely more. So, with Fletcher not practicing, it looks like this could be a problem. Marlon Tuipulotu is the interesting one because even though he is listed as DNP on the injury report, there's still a chance he could play. Typically, a tricep injury. Now, again, I am not a doctor for an NFL team, and I did not stay at Holiday Inn Express last night. But what I do know is that when you have a tricep issue, that is usually either a strain or it is a mild type of tendonitis. The reason why I say that is because when you injure any part of the arm, right, you're dealing with muscles that are structured around the skeletal muscle. The skeletal muscles are structured differently than the muscles in your leg. So, for example, straining your hamstring or your quad is a very different type of injury because there's way more muscle mass, there's way more muscle fibers to deal with in your legs and your arms usually. So when somebody lists, for example, a torn bicep, right? For example, if a guy's missing time due to a torn bicep, or someone like Avante Maddox who's missing the year due to a torn pectoral, those are usually tears because the muscles are a little smaller in the upper body than it is in the lower body. Well, you can strain your hamstring and it just be a lingering injury for a while. Whereas you can strain your tricep and maybe in a day or two be fine. So that's why I'm saying that for Tuipulotu, unless he's dealing with a lingering injury or a borderline tear, then I think it's very likely that as long as he can practice before Sunday's game, i.e. tomorrow, then he should be able to be out there good to go. The rest of the injury report, Sidney Brown, limited. Britton Covey, limited, but it looks like they're both trending to be back. Justin Evans, Quez Watkins, full participants. They will be 100% back. So the good news is the Eagles will have both of their safeties available this Sunday for the game against the Rams. Fletcher Cox trending to not play this week. Cam Jurgens, very likely not to play this week. Marlon Tuipulotu, coin flip. And don't forget, Cooper Kupp, he is practicing. He's a limited participant at practice. And the expectation is he will be available to play this Sunday, which means the Eagles will get their first test of their retooled defense Bradley Roby added to the team? Does he play this week? Does Mario Goodrich play this week? If Cooper Kupp is available and playing, does Cooper Kupp get the James Bradbury assignment? Or do the Eagles risk somebody else going against Cooper Kupp? Even though he is coming off of an injury, we don't know how actually healthy he is. It'll be part of the keys to the game that we discuss throughout the next couple of days right here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, back to the text board. I promise to get some more of your messages at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. Seattle. George in Summers Point. Always like to hear from George. He says, hey, Josh, I'm starting to believe what Rob Thompson and the players have been saying throughout the season, that this Phillies team is built for the postseason. The type of team that can do well in a short series if their pitching and hitting catches fire. What are your thoughts? Thanks as always, George in Summers Point. It's interesting you bring up what the team has been saying, because like I said before, George, one of the problems for the Phillies is that the only thing that you have to judge someone off of is who they've been in the past. If you can't judge someone off of what they've been in the past, then you have zero expectation for what they can be in the future. It's just rocket science. I mean, it's not rocket science. It doesn't take a genius to know that. So during the season, there were points in the season where you were like, this isn't a postseason contending team. They're playing poorly. So all you have at times is to judge a team off of what you've seen them do. Now, with that being said, I think that the idea being that you knew what they did last year, that they found a way to win when it mattered most. I think the problem, George Summers' point, is that we as sports fans, if football is your number one sport, which it is for most people, football is the number one sport in America. The viewership numbers, the participation on social media, the interest of people, every metric you want to use dwarfs every other sport in the United States. So if you are also a sports fan of the Phillies or the Sixers or the Flyers, and you're also an Eagles fan, and this goes for all sports, by the way, if you are a Giants fan and a Yankees fan, okay, if you are a Steelers fan and a Penguins fan, let's say, if you are, and I'm just trying to think of some random teams here, right? If you're a Washington Commanders fan and you are also a Washington Nationals fan, or whatever two, Baltimore Orioles, Baltimore Ravens, okay? This is a universal connection I'm making here. We as football first fans all look at the seasons that are not as short as football and try to place the same amount of urgency onto the longer sports seasons as we do with the shorter season that is football. So what happens is that we look at game 50, game 100 of a baseball season the same way we look at weeks 5 and 10 of the NFL season. We try to draw on what we have seen from a team throughout a baseball season the way we draw on what we've seen from a team during a football season. And this is where, someone like Mike Gill and I disagree, which is, Mike Gill always says things like, what happens on Tuesday night in February has no impact on what happens in the postseason, or what happens in a Tuesday in June has no impact on the baseball postseason. Or, he'll say that, what a team is from week to week, they're not always the same team. And that's where him and I will disagree, because I think that that's too an extreme of a take, because I understand that who you are is built during a season. So while literally what happens in the regular season may not happen in the postseason or have an impact in a literal sense, in a big picture sense, you cannot build a puzzle without all the pieces. You cannot build a championship team without all the games that are put in place as part of the larger puzzle to get you to that point. So let's bring this back to the Phillies, George and Summers' point. The reason why a team like the Phillies is built for the postseason is because they are a team that it takes all regular season to get them to be ready for the postseason. And that is where the leverage point is for a team like the Phillies versus a team like the Braves, where a team like the Braves was one of the best teams all season long, all regular season long. So the Braves potentially have already hit their peak form. They're not hitting their peak heading into the postseason. They're not ramping up their season to lead into the playoffs. And that's why a team like the Phillies is built for the postseason, because those wins and losses that happen in April, May, June, July, August, September, they are all part of the refining process that gets you to the playoffs. And I think that's part of the reason why they are built for the postseason. Now, doing well in a short series, Jordan Summers' point, you're 100% right. It depends on you catching fire. It depends on you being the team that takes advantage of whatever opportunities are presented to you. So for a team like Philadelphia going into Atlanta this Saturday, when you hear the game right here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle, you look at a team like Philadelphia and you realize that they are heading to Atlanta with an opportunity. That opportunity is you got to win one of those games down there. And how do you win one of those games down there? You take advantage of the opportunities given to you, and you don't let Atlanta take advantage of the opportunities given to them. And part of that is looking to whoever the hot bat is, whoever the hot pitcher is for that series, and riding that guy as far as he'll take you. But listen, the Phillies were not the hot team in the World Series last year. A huge part of the reason why they lost that series was because they set the all-time Major League Baseball record for strikeouts in a World Series. They didn't catch fire. So the question is, will this Phillies team catch fire? We'll find out. 609-403-0973. That is the text board. Dan and EHT followed up and said, I think he's asking about if Kerkering can be stretched out for some innings if needed. I don't know. I don't know what Kerkering's. I don't know what the status of him is with that. I would venture to say that unless it's an emergency, Orion Kerkering is probably not going to pitch more than an inning at a time in the postseason. I think that the Phillies want him out there in small doses and not in large quantities, so the young man doesn't get taken advantage of or exposed and doesn't damage his confidence in himself or his team's confidence in him. I think what you saw last night from the Marlins by stretching out Dave Robertson the way they did was a move of desperation. I think they were saying on the broadcast last night that, Dave Robertson basically has only pitched 3 innings or more less than 10 times his entire baseball career. So traditionally, you don't want the bullpen guy. You don't want those guys pitching a lot of innings. And I think that if the Phillies are in a situation where they're looking to go deeper innings, they're going to turn to guys like Christopher Sanchez, Taijuan Walker, guys like that. Now, we should note, you can change the postseason roster from round to round. And just because Michael Lorenzen was not on the postseason roster against the Marlins doesn't mean he would not be available against the Braves. Now, the Phillies are traveling to Atlanta today. The Phillies will be working out on the field tomorrow afternoon. And then there will be a media availability tomorrow for Rob Thompson and with certain players. My assumption will be that tomorrow we will find out who is going to be on this roster and who is starting game one. And I think when we get that information, we will have a better understanding of what the Phillies will and will not do in that series. Because again, I can't sit here and definitively tell you what's going to happen unless I have the full picture in front of me. Okay. The reason why I was so adamant that I didn't expect to see Orion Kerkering in game one is because I was aware of what the Phillies had done throughout the season. I knew what the Phillies did last postseason, and it just didn't fit the narrative. Now that I've seen them pitch Kerkering once this postseason, I think it's something to keep in mind. By the way, some sad football news. It has been confirmed by the Chicago Bears and by the Butkus family that legendary linebacker Dick Butkus has passed away. He passed away in his sleep at his home overnight. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up right at the break is that with the Bears playing tonight, I think that what people may not understand is that part of the reason why the Chicago Bears are such a frustrating team for anyone over the age of 30, let's say, is because there was a tradition, there was a history, there was a lore that came with the Chicago Bears franchise for many, many years. And part of that lore was built on the shoulders of people like Dick Butkus. A lot of people who don't know football history, a lot of people who are maybe too young to realize, but part of the reason why Chicago won a championship in the 1980s was because the head coach of the Bears was Coach Ditka. And Coach Mike Ditka played on the Bears teams alongside guys like Gale Sayers and guys like Dick Butkus. And the reason why the Bears hired Mike Ditka when they did to help win them a championship was because they were trying to reach back into the time machine and say there was an era of Bears football that Dick Butkus was a part of, that Mike Ditka was knowledgeable of. Dick Butkus was arguably the best defensive player of his era. When he played from 65 to 73, you could make the argument that either him or Deacon Jones was the best football player on the planet. And he established with Gale Sayers a level of respectability for the Chicago franchise that this organization should be competing at a certain level. And then when they brought in Mike Ditka all those years later, Ditka wanted to bring back that winning, grinding culture back to the organization, because there was a tradition that Dick Butkus symbolized of the grit and the grind that basically was the foundation for the Bears defense eventually growing and becoming the monsters of the Midway, is one of their nicknames. And for the Bears franchise that has in recent years fallen on tough times. We are a long way away from Jay Cutler looking miserable on the sidelines when the Bears lost in the conference championship game in 2010. But there was a run of Chicago Bears success from The moment that Walter Payton walked in the door in the 70s to the great success of the 80s, they had that lull in the 90s, right? They had a couple postseason appearances, but that was it. And then they turned things around with Lovie Smith in the early 2000s, right? But that was all built on the shoulders of guys like Dick Butkus, because Dick Butkus was a larger-than-life figure. And it was because of the organization's experience with a guy like Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers, they looked to guys like Ditka, and they looked at guys like Walter Payton and looked to them for guidance to help them, lead them into the next tier of that franchise's history. Dick Butkus passed away today at the age of 80. Little football history lesson for everybody out there. Josh and Nick here on Game Night, 97.3 ESPN. More your text on the other side, plus my picks for Thursday football.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. It's week 5, and the Eagles travel to L.A. this Sunday to take on the Rams.
He pumps. He looks.
Eagles radio network coverage begins at 3 p.m. Maryland might call all the action starting at 4:05. This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station. Brought to you by
Jenkins Plumbing and Heating at jenkinsandsons.com. Piccalilli Inn. Nobody beats the Piccalilli, Route 206 in Chemung. Frank Vincent Windows, Roofing, Siding, and Doors make your home look new again. BMW of Atlantic City. Shop our complete inventory online at bmwatlanticcity.com. And First Bank of Sea Isle.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN FM.
Stuck in a loan or lease? AJ, the trade man, wants to get you released.
Oh, yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
Used car values are declining rapidly. Every mile, every dent, every chipped windshield could be costing you thousands. But AJ, the trade man, has got you covered, even if you owe thousands more than your trade's worth. Then drive home a new Matt Blatt Nissan with 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing on every new Matt Blatt Nissan in stock. Plus, with your job clearing $350 per week, Matt Blatt Nissan wants to approve you with 0 down and 0 interest for 36 months, all backed by Matt Blatt's 4-day love it or leave it return policy. So bring any trade to Matt Blatt Nissan, because AJ, the trade man, is in need of more trades. Only at MattBlattNissan.com. Unapproved Tier 1 credit through NEMAC. Negative equity will be refinanced with a new vehicle, plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers can't be combined. 0% for 36 months. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends 10/7/2023. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more straight talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Next question. This place is known for its extraordinary financial services since 1902. Contestant 3?
Motion First Bank?
Oh, nice try. Sorry, everyone. The answer we were looking for is Ocean First Bank. Ocean First. But the good news is everyone goes home a winner with convenient access to deposit services, mortgage loans, business financing solutions, and digital banking options for business and personal accounts. Through local branches and online banking, your needs always come first at Ocean First Bank.
Now get 5.25% APY when you open a 6-month CD with at least $10,000 of new money to Ocean First. Learn more. Open yours with a local branch or at oceanfirst.com. Restrictions apply.
Equal housing lender, equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
A lot of Canoli's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
This Customer Service Week, Bank of America is celebrating teammates who go above and beyond to support their clients. Like Bruno, a Better Money Habits volunteer champion who helps debt feel less scary by giving clients tips and tools to tackle it little by little. For all your financial goals, we're here to listen and help. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/about. Bank of America NA, member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Hustle up, we've got 8 more floors to go before lunch.
Sarusha's window washing business is reaching new heights.
Wipe, and let's roll.
They need more certified cleaners to keep online reviews crystal clear.
Team, I know we're hustling, but watch for streaks. Candace, can you give me a hand over here?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Josh Hennick here to tell you about how Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has helped your favorite football team. Did you know that over 40 years ago, John Jenkins Sr. invented the heated seat that football players sit on today? Yes, the Jenkins family created a way for football players to weather the extreme cold. Now imagine what Jenkins could do for your home. Call Jenkins for plumbing, drain cleaning, and leak repairs, gas furnace boiler, and hot water heater replacements. Call Jenkins today at 609-641-6262, online at jenkinsandsons.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennick on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, before we get out of here, a couple of quick things on the sports front. By the way, thank you to the texter who said solid tribute. Rest in peace, Mr. Buckner. I'm just a big believer in the saying, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. It doesn't matter what tier of life you come from. It doesn't matter what your cultural background is. It doesn't matter what your skin color is, what your whatever. Okay, politics. We are all here because of those who came before us. It's a very simple fact of life, and I don't think a lot of people appreciate or understand that the athletes who came before set the groundwork for how we perceive teams today. And part of the reason why it's going to be pathetic when the Bears get kicked in the face tonight by the Washington Commanders on Thursday Night Football is because of the fact that the Bears used to be this respected and amazing franchise, and now they're a franchise that's just kind of like shoulder shrug. So on the year, I am 28-16 with the NFL picks. So tonight we got to go with over 26.5 points scored for the Washington Commanders. I just don't see a scenario where Washington doesn't score a lot of points. There could be a scenario where the Bears make it a close game. But I don't see a scenario where they do it, make it a close game, and the Commanders don't score points. The fewest points that the Bears have given up all year is 27. Well, what is 27? Greater than 26.5. The other one is a Sam Howell over 239.5 passing yards. And there's not some empirical numbers or like some intrinsic stat that I could point to for this, but I just think based on what I saw this season from Sam Howell, I think that he is slowly starting to find his groove when it comes to being an NFL quarterback. Not every guy is going to be perfect every single week unless you're an elite player. And at the end of the day, we as sports fans have to remember that unless your name is Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, that you're not going to be elite every week. Just look at Joe Burrow. Just look at Josh Allen. Even those guys, for as great and as talented as they are, they cannot be great every single week. I think Sam Howell is starting to learn how to ride the wave of an NFL season. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Thursday football coming up at 7:30. 97.3.
Ian Eagle here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Join Ross Tucker and me for the Commanders hosting the Bears in primetime. Quarterback Sam Howell in Washington took the Eagles to overtime last week, but came up short, dropping to 2-2. Now they face a Chicago team desperate to get a win. Don't miss any of the action on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on 97.3 ESPN South Jersey.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.